like you said, that could be a bruise that goes away by the time that elections come up for both Rosen and Cortez Masto. But it's interesting that Democrats in that state disapprove so much on that because, like we've been saying, Nevada is a swing state, and usually lawmakers from swing states are more moderate on both sides. But I'm curious how their approval stacks up to President Trump. Nevada went to Trump in 2024. Are people still supporting that decision? I mean, how do the people of Nevada feel about President Trump?
And the short answer to that, Brittany, is no. They are not still supportive of President Trump. So we look at his approval numbers, it's 39% approve, 54% disapprove. We see that a majority of independent voters in Nevada disapprove currently. And then when we look at some of the issues, maybe why voters are so disapproving of Trump in the Silver State, we see that the economy, 39% approve of how Trump is handling it versus 54% disapprove. Immigration, 42% approve, 55% disapprove. Now, that's a long way away from where his numbers are on immigration in Arizona, where he's about split. There's clearly more appetite in Arizona for some of the tactics that the Trump administration has taken with immigration. But I think universally in every state we've tested so far and nationally, there is obviously strong discontent with how the Trump administration is handling the economy. And it's going to be really, really tough for him to dig himself out of that one.
And the economy, Matt, time and time again, I feel like a broken record, has been the top issue facing voters. It's a tale as old as time. It still is in Nevada. What are the other top issues facing voters there?
Yeah, as you said, Brittany, the economy, the top issue in the state. And then that's followed by housing affordability with 16%, economy being at 39%. You take those two and you've got a majority of the electorate that say that either housing affordability or the economy, including inflation, the cost of living, et cetera, that are their top issues. So, I think that this is really, really clearly a major issue. If we look back to 2024, we see that it's almost the exact numbers as then, just ahead of the 2024 presidential election. So what this says to me is that folks are overwhelmingly dissatisfied with the state of the economy, with the state of affordability, and crucially, they have not seen progress on this over the course of the past year. President Trump said that he was going to attack this issue on day one, and voters right now do not see evidence of that having happened.
President Trump did run on no tax on tips, and Las Vegas is in Nevada. Service industry there is booming. I'm sure people, when they hear this, I was a waitress at one point in my life. I'm sure if I heard no tax on tips, that would certainly excite me. How do the people of Nevada feel about it?
And it would have excited me too at the time. And we can't really necessarily say that folks aren't excited about it. I definitely think that there are some in the service sectors who are. But when we ask Nevada voters, whether or not no tax on tips has had a positive or negative effect on Nevada's economy, we see 48%, a plurality here, say that it's had no impact on the economy. Then another 40% say that it's had a positive impact, and 12%, a very small minority, say that it's had a negative impact on the economy. There's obviously a partisan divide here. Republican folks going along with President Trump's policies, Democrats being largely against it. But what is interesting here is that it scales with education. So lower educated folks who have a high school degree or less, and then moving on up the scale, those lower educated folks are much more likely to say that it's having a positive effect. I think a lot of those folks probably are either in the service sector or in some of the trades where tipping may be customary. So again, it is just 2025. It does apply for the year 2025, but I don't know that folks are necessarily seeing that impact yet on their pocketbooks. I think if we test this again next year, the results could look a little bit different.